So we have this new series of figures here for PlayStation characters. This time we're looking at the Horizon Forbidden West, or Horizon 2 Forbidden West Aloy figure. This figure comes in at $50, and why is it $50? I have no clue. It's very, very pricey. At this point, it costs more than the actual game because the game is no longer a $70 game. I've seen it go down as low as 20 bucks. So uh, it's definitely a pricey figure. They're trying to justify it because of the points of articulation. It has 42 points of articulation and accessories. So if you look at the side of the box, you can kind of see everything she comes with. She comes with a lot of faceplates, but they're faceplates. They're not full head sculpts. We have some hands. We have some accessories. If she came with some sort of machine with her, that would have been cool. But man, I don't know. I feel like something like this would have been 30 bucks all day, but 50 is pretty steep. It's made by Spin Masters. I don't own a single figure from them until now. And it comes in this box, which has no window. It's a windowless box. It's very light. The figure is very light, considering it's a pretty thick box, but it's a very light figure. So the box you were seeing before was a sleeve. I took the sleeve off, and this is what's inside. The presentation is really nice, considering it's not a windowed package, but the artwork that they chose here is fantastic. I like this quite a bit, and when you open it, you can see the figure right there and then. And right off the bat, I can say the figure looks fantastic. So that's one thing. It looks great. I'm going to take her out, of course, and see how it all goes. But she also seems a little on the small side. Okay, so accessories. They're laid out like this. We have 5 faceplates, additional faceplates, I should say. There's 6 in total with the one on the figure. So we have a bow, we have an arrow, we have a spear, we have a quiver, and then we have 3 pairs of hands, so a total of 4 pairs, including the ones on the figure itself. As you can see there, we have some grabbing hands, some fists, and some arrow shooting hands as well. So as for the faceplates, as you can see there, we go from a range of different expressions. We have a neutral regular face on the left side. There we have a face painted smiling face. Then we have a face painted regular neutral face with that mouth closed. A little bit of a yelling or angrier face, and then a silly face there with some face paint as well. So a good variety. It looks like the faces are getting squeezed in this blister package, but when I look at the figure, the one on the figure itself, as we can see right here, it looks good. She's looking to the side. It's got some nice expression there. It looks great. It really does. The only thing about the faceplates is that it leaves a pretty big seam between the hairline and the faceplate. In some areas, there's a gap. So it's a little bit of an eyesore. You can see the separation there with the ear. I would have much rather to get full head sculpts. I know that's a lot to ask for, but you would just be reusing the same hair sculpt. But again, this is $50 here, so I would expect a little bit more. Now, I'm probably going to bring up the point about the $50 price tag quite a bit, because it's so crazy to see that price tag. Especially because this is not an import. But I will say the articulation on the figure is import quality, I guess, or import quantity. Maybe that's the word. There's a lot. Although there's a lot, we get a single jointed elbow, which is what the heck, you know? I don't like seeing that. Plus we get pins, which shouldn't be a thing on a $50 figure. A lot of companies are doing pinless. It's not just Hasbro anymore. We have Mattel doing it as well. We have a lot of different companies. Even Jazzwares is doing pinless. Everyone's doing pinless. It's a standard now. So it's no longer like a premium thing. We gotta stop putting it on a pedestal like it's a premium thing now. But this should be pinless, in my opinion. So hopefully they work their way into doing pinless eventually. But it doesn't look like trash. It looks actually really, really good. So that's amazing. It's good to see when a company like Spin Master, where I never really heard of them before, maybe I have, but I just didn't collect what they made. They come out with a new line, and they actually do a good job with it. The face scans are awesome. The paint apps, there is paint all over this figure, which is fantastic. You don't see that on our $25 Marvel Legends, so at least we're getting paint on this. I can imagine what the mold for all the articulation and all the pieces on this figure would cost. Even the hair is articulated in different points here, so that's cool to see. I like seeing that. Again, that's something you would see in imports. So this is like the closest to an import that a domestic figure could get, to be honest with you. So you do see some areas of like, okay, that's nice. I can see why this costs a little bit more than 25 bucks. But again, I would have expected this to be 30 to 35. All of the other figures are 30. We got Kratos at 30 bucks. We have Atreus at 30. I guess this figure comes with more articulation and more accessories than those other ones. I don't have them yet, but once I do, I will compare it. But overall, this makes me very excited. If they're gonna make PlayStation figures, I really want them to make Last of Us, of course. And I hope it succeeds to the point where they can make a lot of the side characters too, because then we can dive into God of War having like Odin. We can have Thor made. Maybe go back in time, go to God of War 3, go to God of War 2, get Zeus, get Hades, get all those people articulated. I mean, that would be fantastic. Alright, so here's a look at her with the first alternate head sculpt or faceplate with the serious look, not looking to the side. Then we get this one with the smile. I probably won't display her like this, but if you want her happy, you can have her happy. There you go. So this is pretty cool. The face paint, serious look. Looks good. You can try getting her into some action poses with this more expressive, angry, yelling face. And then we got the silly face, I guess, right? And then back to the original face that was on the figure when we opened it. And I think I'm going to go with this one. She looks to the side. She's got a little smile going. She looks great. So let's see what she can do here. Like I mentioned earlier, the hair is articulated, so it's not going to get in the way. Now the front pieces, they are articulated too, so you can kind of move them a little. So they're not just like kind of floating in the air. So you can do what you can here with the head sculpt. But it's got good range for sure. Got the head tilting there. Everything that you would kind of want in a head articulation system. She has some kind of animal skin on her shoulder here. It's a plastic piece, so it kind of gets in the way, but it's pliable enough so you can raise her arm. You can go back down. There is a bit of a socket butterfly joint in there, so you get a little bit of range in and out. There is a bicep swivel at the sleeve. Like I mentioned earlier, only a single jointed elbow, unfortunately. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge. We have a diaphragm joint at the torso with an ab crunch at the lower abdominal area. So good range overall on the torso. Legs will kick forward with no problem because she has very pliable pieces here at the waist. So it doesn't really hinder anything here as much as I thought it would. She could do a full split, no problem. She has a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and then we have an ankle that goes forward and back. There's a swivel, there's a rocker, there's also a toe hinge at the foot. The ankle is quite interesting because it does have that ankle hinge like I showed, but it also has like a ball joint at the shin. So the whole entire like leg kind of moves in there, or shin, if you can kind of look in there. So it's got kind of like 2 points there at the ankle, which is pretty impressive, I must say. If you own the NECA Nathan Drake from Uncharted, this is what it looks like next to our Aloy. You can see the scale here is pretty off. Nathan Drake is a 7-inch scale, so it's a different scale overall. But Aloy is definitely running a little on the shorter side, so you probably don't want to display it next to this one here. So she's definitely more import size, as here is the SH Figuarts Spider-Man video game figure, and they're about the same height there. So Figuarts are technically 1/12 scale 6-inch, but they seem to be on the shorter end of that, more like 5.5 inches. And here is the NECA Kratos figure from the God of War 2018 video game. As you can see, he's even taller. Kratos should be about, what is he, 8 feet tall or something like that? So I guess this makes sense. But again, NECA is a different scale, so it's always going to scale a little larger. And this is a Joel from a third-party company called Limb Toys, and they did a phenomenal job at this figure. And this is a fully soft goods figure too. So you can see the scale here. It's definitely more on the same scale compared to the NECA ones. Those are definitely off. They also did make Ellie. So Ellie is going to be shorter than Joel. So next to Aloy, seems about right, I feel like. So fully decked out here with all of her accessories on her. I put the quiver. There's a peg hole on her hip there where that is placed. There is a peg on her back where you can put either the spear or either the bow. I chose the bow, and the spear is in her hand. Only thing I don't have equipped with her right now is this arrow right here, which you should be able to slide into the sheath, I think. No, it's not big enough, so you cannot slide this anywhere. This one's just loosey-goosey unless you want to have her hold it like she's about to fire it. But she did go through a different number of types of arrows in the game, so that's why I guess this could look a little different than these. These have the yellow feathers, while this one has the white. Anyways, overall, this figure is nice. It is very nice. The price is not, I don't know how much they produced of this. If they produced a lot, I can easily see this being a clearance item in the future, and part of me wishes I would have waited for a clearance, for some sort of sale, some sort of Black Friday deal. I can see this being 25, 30 bucks one day. I can really see that. And if that's the case, then bummer for me, but you know, good for you if you're waiting and holding out. It is a great figure though. It's super nice and has me excited for what else they do in the line. I definitely wanted Joel and Ellie. Everybody. I want all the characters from all the video games for PlayStation. That'd be awesome. If we can get some Uncharted going, that would be awesome too. But I think all of that lies within the production or the sales numbers for the initial releases that they're producing right now, which is Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, and God of War. So we shall see how those go. I have those ordered as well. Hopefully they are just as nice as Aloy. But 50 bucks just is pretty crazy for this. So it's available right now if you want it. I'll put a link in the description. It's an Amazon. It's on Amazon right now. It's not an Amazon exclusive, but it is readily available on Amazon if you want it right away. So with that said, let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.